Think you don't need flood insurance? Well, if you live anywhere in the United States, think again. Hi, and welcome to Volusia Magazine. I'm your host, Amber Patterson. On today's show, we'll bring you information about flooding that just might surprise you, but we'll provide information on how you can obtain flood insurance. Then after 25 years, the World Trampoline and Tumbling Championships are being held in the United States. And guess what? It's being held right here in Volusia County. Then Business Beat reporter Joanne Magley brings us news about the recent VMA showcase. Health reporter Stephanie Strong has some helpful information about dementia, and Community Information Director Dave Byron will be joined in the studio by his guest, the Executive Director of the Volusia Flagler United Way, Ray Salazer. We've put it all together for you, so I hope you stay tuned to Volusia Magazine. Floods cause more deaths and property damage than any other type of disaster in the United States. Volusia County's recent experience with heavy rainfall and flooding is a good reminder that water levels can rise rapidly and without warning. There are a few things that people can do to prepare for potential flooding. For one thing, flood insurance is advisable even for residents who don't live in a flood zone or even near water. All it takes is a few inches of water to cause major damage to a home and its contents. Larry LaHue is planner for Volusia County's Emergency Management Division.
Many people believe that their homeowner's insurance will cover flooding. Your homeowner's insurance does not cover rising water. If you have a pipe burst in your home or on your washing machine and your home is flooded from that, yes, your homeowner's insurance will cover that. But like we had here recently, unexpectedly we got about 8 inches of rain in a very short period of time. A number of homes flooded, and I just hope they had flood insurance, otherwise it's going to all be out of pocket.
Flood insurance is available through the National Flood Insurance Program for homes, condos, apartments, and commercial structures. The average premium is $500 per year, but some residents could qualify for a preferred risk policy and pay as little as $119 per year. A flood risk assessment can be obtained by going to the website floodsmart.gov and using the one-step flood risk profile where the address is entered in to determine if a property's flood risk is low, moderate, or high. Property owners should be aware that homes that are not in a floodplain can be at risk for flash floods or damage due to heavy rains. In fact, about 25% of flood loss claims come from low-risk areas. It takes 30 days after purchase for a flood insurance policy to take effect. Also, if a hurricane is within 500 miles of Florida, flood insurance policies will not be written.
There is a way to tell if you live in an area that's flood-prone, and that's to pull out your driver's license. And if it's a Florida driver's license, then you live in an area that can probably flood.
Volusia County's emergency management officials also encourage residents to sign up to receive weather alerts from the First Call Emergency Notification System at volusia.org/emergency.
And we use our emergency telephone notification system exactly for that. They're for emergency notifications. So if there was a boil water notice, we would be using it for that. Any other type of emergency where there might be an imminent impact on your health or safety. Also, in addition to a telephone notification, if you'd like to receive a text message as well or an email, there's a place on the registration page where you can include, you can check a block if you'd like to receive text messages or email messages in addition to or instead of a telephone notification.
Finally, it's a good idea to consider investing in an emergency weather radio, which can pick up information from the National Weather Service 24 hours, 7 days a week.
Weather radios, it's very important that everybody have a NOAA weather radio to receive particularly tornado warnings, which seem to occur in the middle of the night. So yes, we encourage everyone to have a NOAA weather radio.
For more information about the National Flood Insurance Program, you can contact your insurance agent or you can just visit floodsmart.gov. This year's International Coastal Cleanup was a huge success. Volunteers around the world and in Volusia County worked together to clean beaches, rivers, and other waterways. Despite the rain, more than 1,000 volunteers turned out for the International Coastal Cleanup in September. This worldwide annual event, hosted by the Ocean Conservancy, featured 41 locations for people interested in cleaning up the beaches and the Halifax Indian River. Volusia County's participation in the cleanup was coordinated by the county's Environmental Management Division.
This year, 7,000 pounds of trash was removed from our beaches, the Indian River Lagoon, and the Halifax shoreline. So it was a huge amount of waste that otherwise would have just deteriorated in the environment. A lot of the items that were found were plastic based, and as plastic items break down, they really can be toxic for waterways, and of course as they break down and start looking like food to sea turtles, dolphins, birds, they could also be ingested and be fatal to animals.
Worldwide, more than 600,000 volunteers in 92 countries picked up 12.3 million pounds of trash during the 2013 International Cleanup, which was sponsored by the Ocean Conservancy. For more than 25 years, Ocean Conservancy beach cleanup volunteers have collected enough cups, plates, forks, knives, and spoons to host a picnic for 2 million people. Trash threatens ocean wildlife and ecosystems and undermines tourism and economic activity. Every piece of trash collected is recorded on a tally card. This gives organizers the ability to identify what types of items are not making it into trash cans. For example, cigarettes and food packaging are always the most numerous items collected from Volusia's beaches.
Yeah, we had over 1,000 plastic grocery bags cleaned off our coast in one morning and during a 2-hour event. So those are all items, you know, when bags are in waterways, they really look like jellyfish, much like balloons do. And so they could be really harmful to sea turtles and other marine life. The International Coastal Cleanup is held annually the 3rd Saturday of every September. Here in Volusia County, you could visit volusia.org/cleanup to find out more information about our sites and how to register. Internationally, you could visit oceanconservancy.org and read all about where the site is closest to you if you're outside Volusia County.
For the first time in 25 years, the World Trampoline and Tumbling Championships is being held in the United States, and it's happening right here in Volusia County. The Volusia County Ocean Center is hosting the International Gymnastics Federation's 2014 World Trampoline and Tumbling Championships November 7th through 9th, and the World Age Group Competitions November 13th through 16th. The events are expected to feature more than 1,100 of the world's best athletes in trampoline, tumbling, and double mini trampoline. The World Trampoline and Tumbling Championships, held annually except in the Olympic year, determines the men's and women's world champions in trampoline, synchronized trampoline, tumbling, and double mini trampoline. The World Age Group competitions showcase the world's best young men and women in these 4 events in 4 age groups. Ocean Center Director Don Poor said the event will fill thousands of hotel rooms for multiple days and provides quality family entertainment.
There'll be almost 15,000 sleeping room nights associated with the event over the 16 days. There'll be folks, as I said, here from 38 different countries, so that gives us exposure to those markets which we have not had historically and many, many times. It also gives us an opportunity to be seen on national television, on NBC television, to millions of people, so it gives great exposure to the market and it helps in the economic impact.
Tickets for the World Trampoline and Tumbling Championships range from $25 for a single-day pass to $80 for an all-season ticket. Tickets for the World Age Group competitions are $45 for an all-session ticket. All-session tickets may be purchased in advance by going to Ticketmaster.com or by calling Ticketmaster at 800-745-3000. Individual season tickets are only available at the Ocean Center box office on the day of the competition. For more information, you can visit oceancenter.com/ttworlds. A record number of attendees and vendors attended the recent VMA Showcase. Reporter Joanne Magley has more on this annual manufacturing event that keeps businesses connected in this week's Business Beat.
1,500 people browsed through the aisles of the 8th annual VMA Showcase held at Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University. The event attracted students, citizens, and business people, all there for the same reason, to learn more about the manufacturers here in Volusia County. Jane Pfeiffer is the president of VMA.
The showcase started 8 years ago. This is the 8th annual Manufacturers Showcase. It started so that we could connect the smaller manufacturers with the larger manufacturers. The purpose of VMA is to help the manufacturers grow. It was developed for that. The manufacturers wanted to connect with other manufacturers, and we saw that our small manufacturers weren't able to attend any of our events. So we made up a special event where they could showcase their skills and capabilities so that the larger manufacturers in our area could see what they can do.
The VMA Showcase not only connects local companies, but it also offers students the chance to display their talents and learn about good-paying jobs. According to Volusia County's Economic Development Division, the average annual wage for manufacturing jobs in the county has risen to $52,687 a year. That's up from $48,000 just a year ago. But despite the good pay, the industry has a number of job vacancies. To address this, the showcase featured a job placement center which listed the more than 300 job openings, from entry-level to mechanical engineers. Another event highlight was the student robotics competition.
They build robots throughout the day, and at the end of the day they have a little competition with each other, and it gives them a chance to meet with all the manufacturers throughout the county all under one roof. The reason that we want our students here is we want to introduce them to the manufacturers and the wide variety of career opportunities that are available to them so that they'll be aware when they go through their high school planning and what their future is going to be.
Pfeiffer says that while a few manufacturers in Volusia County make products that are easily recognizable, like Fox Mattress for instance, most companies make parts you don't see, parts that go into other parts. Companies like Genzano, a third-generation company that does custom manufacturing of machine tooling.
Basically, we have a good example would be hose clamps. Everybody uses little metal hose clamps. The worm that's in there, which is actually used to tighten it down, that's a big rod of material, and that needs to be softened so that their tooling lasts longer. So we make an induction heater, we make the coil, and then the material runs through there, softens it, and then the customer's tooling lasts longer.
Chris Carroll of Universal Packaging in Orange City attended the showcase to meet others in the industry. Universal Packaging makes aftermarket valves for the bottled beverage industry. Carroll says being a member of VMA helps his company keep their business in Volusia County.
Oh, it's wonderful. Like if I have a trouble with something at the company, I can shoot out an email to Jane, and she will actually post out like a blog. So we'll link into everybody else and go, hey, I'm looking for such and such to do this. Next thing you know, you got 4 or 5 other companies that are in here. They'll go, hey, we use this company or we use that company. We try to really do a lot in here in the Volusia County area. So that way we're trying to keep everything here, instead of sending everything out to other states or even abroad.
With more than 450 manufacturers in Volusia County, there's a good chance one of those products has found its way into your life. For the Business Beat, I'm Joanne Magley.
Dementia is not a specific disease. It's an overall term that describes a wide range of symptoms associated with a decline in memory or other thinking skills severe enough to reduce a person's ability to perform everyday activities. Alzheimer's disease accounts for 60 to 80% of cases, and vascular dementia, which occurs after a stroke, is the second most common dementia type. But there are many other conditions that can cause symptoms of dementia, including some that are reversible, such as thyroid problems and vitamin deficiencies. Stephanie Strong spotlights a very helpful dementia program offered by the Council on Aging in this segment of Community Health Matters.
Imagine not being able to remember your address. What about your Social Security number, or having difficulty dressing and doing routine activities such as paying bills or washing dishes? These symptoms may come with the aging process, and they can be signs of dementia. Just ask Louise McGahan. The loving wife finds herself in the role of caregiver to a spouse who is dealing with dementia.
You're always trying to make sure that they're not going to injure themselves or have something happen to them. Wandering, if they start wandering, you have to make sure that you have your locks, and it's just so many things that you have to keep an eye on.
Dementia is an umbrella term describing the loss of cognitive functioning, thinking, remembering, and reasoning, and behavioral activities to such an extent that it interferes with a person's daily life and activities.
He had to give up driving. That was quite a problem. Fortunately, he never had an accident. He was smart enough to give up the keys without too much trouble. A lot of people, that's a very, very hard thing to give up because you've been so independent for so many years. You need a lot of support from your family and your friends. And it's just a complete life-changing experience.
The Council on Aging of Volusia County has been offering support services and information to help seniors and their caregivers for over 45 years.
The first part of our dementia track is a neighborhood social activity program. That is set up, that's a 9 to 3 program, set up in local churches in Volusia County, where a loved one, a caregiver, can bring their loved one, and that loved one is with us for the day, in a very social, active group, very structured. We play games, we have exercises, we do singing, we do lunch, we do conversational times.
I've never swung in my life.
Well, we're swinging now.
This social group starts the same time by doing the same thing each meeting, playing a popular card game that challenges the mind called Kings in the Corner. Attendees enjoy it.
It is a challenging way to start the day, to get the cognitive juices working, and they enjoy it. It's fun.
What would you put on a red 2?
It is very important for caregivers to take time to care for themselves.
We have support groups where a caregiver can come and sit with other people who are experiencing the same type of things, and just to discuss what they're going through. And that's a very important part, is to find some sort of support. You got to be able to rest. You've got to be able to do physical, you need to physically take care of yourself, and keep your mind going too. It's the caregiving part of it is so stressful that over 50% of caregivers die before the loved one that they're taking care of.
Dementia is increasingly common, especially with our aging population, our baby boomers, and all of us need to be concerned about it because it is there, but also we need to position ourselves to be able to take care of folks who have dementia.
Memory loss that disrupts daily life may be a symptom of Alzheimer's or another dementia. Alzheimer's is a brain disease that causes a slow decline in memory, thinking, and reasoning skills. There are 10 warning signs and symptoms for dementia. Every individual may experience one or more of these signs in different degrees. If you notice any of them, please see a doctor. Memory loss that disrupts daily life, challenges in planning or solving problems, difficulty completing familiar tasks at home, at work, or at leisure, confusion with time or place, trouble understanding visual images and spatial relationships, new problems with words in speaking or writing, misplacing things and losing the ability to retrace steps, decreased or poor judgment, withdrawal from work or social activities, and changes in mood and personality. Louise and Richard are taking each day, one day at a time, coping with the struggles of living with dementia with positive attitudes and loving hearts. For more information about the Council on Aging's programs and services, please visit www.coavolusia.org, or you may call 386-253-4700. For Volusia Magazine, I'm Stephanie Strong, Public Information Officer for the Florida Department of Health in Volusia County.
If you have any questions about this or any other health-related issues, you can always log on to volusiahealth.com. In the studio with Community Information Director Dave Byron is Ray Salazar, Executive Director of the Volusia Flagler United Way.
Well, thank you, Amber. Hi, everyone. You know, the United Way is the one charitable organization that Volusia County government endorses and encourages its employees to support. And that's because United Way supported agencies provide such a wide variety of services that perhaps 1 out of every 3 people in Volusia County may be helped in one way or another by a United Way supported agency. This year's United Way Fund Drive is underway, and so is county government's employee campaign. We want to catch up on how the United Way is doing these days, so we're very pleased to have with us in the studio Ray Salazar. He's the Executive Director of the Volusia Flagler United Way. Ray, how you doing?
Dave, good. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Like to talk to you every year right at about this time. You got the annual giving campaign underway. I ask you the same question every year. What's the goal? And you always say more than last year.
And it is more than last year. I mean, we slowly have been able to build a little incremental growth back into the campaign.
Right.
And it's been tough. Everybody is still a little stretched, but things are starting to turn. We're starting to see some real positive indicators in the community. So point to point in our campaign, we've got now new software that gives us more capacity to measure point to point. We're up a little bit.
Good.
So we're cautiously optimistic, and we'll see what the future brings.
One of the important things that we talk about during these interviews is how a United Way, how an agency becomes United Way supported, how they qualify for United Way funds. And it's a pretty sophisticated process, and I think what you've impressed upon me in the past is that there are a lot of agencies out there with great hearts, good intentions, but they have to also have the wherewithal to be able to expend these monies properly. And so tell us about how you go about, an agency goes about getting United Way funds.
Well, like county government, we set expectations of full transparency and accountability.
Right.
Public dollars, are handled in a way that the county makes sure that the public that those monies come from understand the function of government, so they're accountable. The same thing with United Way. United Way's partner agencies, the application process is rigorous. When we do invite an agency to join United Way, they're vetted well, so we look at all their documents, look at their budget, look at their board of directors, look at all the things that are necessary to run an efficient operation. And then, before we fund them, we watch them in operation for a year.
Oh, wow.
A full year goes by. They're not allowed to compete for any dollars because we want to make sure their sustainability.
Right.
Then they come back to us with a particular program that they either want to initiate or they want to enhance in the community. Then if we didn't decide to fund them, we then make sure they can measure their community impact. So performance outcome measurements are clearly set. They have to meet those. If they can't meet those, they're not funded in the future cycles.
Ray, am I right in thinking that the process of determining an allocation or determining an agency that qualifies for funds, you have a lot of key business people in Volusia County that are savvy in the world of making money, giving money, measuring money, that sort of thing. So I think people that are giving to the United Way can feel confident that people in the community, successful business people, have weighed in and said, we're going in the right direction here.
That's exactly right. It's a good point, Dave, because my board of directors, we'll start there. They're the top-notch volunteers that we find in the community that voluntarily want to help us govern.
Sure.
They want to help us fundraise, and they want to make sure that the community understands exactly what we're doing. So we start there, and then in the campaign we engage more volunteers in the community that understand the process, are willing to go out and make the ask.
Ray, just off a side note, one of the key services that you provide is that 211 number.
Exactly.
And I want to just give you an opportunity to, just for folks that perhaps may be moving to the area or whatever, they don't know about 211, just give us a quick update on what that is.
It still remains that easy to remember 3-digit telephone number that provides the front door to social services.
Right.
So our information referral specialist, it's a 24/7 capacity capability. Callers call in, and if social services exist, and I really have to make that key, if they exist in our community, these information referral specialists know where it's at, and they'll direct the caller to those services. It's up to the caller then to follow through and make sure that they're contacting them. So 211 is up and running. Now, one enhancement that we've seen lately, it's ongoing, is we've been approached by our health partners in the community, our hospital systems in Halifax and Florida Health, and they want us to see if there's a way to be able to enhance health access and health promotion. There's a new database, we're looking at it, we're looking at our website, we're looking at our capacity, and we may at the end of this year be able to roll out a enhanced 211 that actually does a little bit more than just the social service aspect that we provide.
Awesome, great news. I mean,
oh, well, it couldn't happen without our partners.
Because people don't, honestly, I mean, they don't know where to turn. They, you know, when they have a problem, in many cases, they don't know where to go.
Right.
For services. Ray, do you need volunteers?
Always.
I knew you did.
Yeah, always. Matter of fact, work of United Way gets done through the work of a small, dedicated, paid staff, but driving the resources of almost 3,000 volunteers each year to get United Way's work done.
All right, if there are groups or organizations out there, Ray, that would like to get a presentation, perhaps there are people out there that want to get more information about the United Way, get involved in some way or another, how do people get more information?
You can call our office directly at 253-0563. You can contact our volunteer center. It'll prompt you through a number of buttons, and one of them is our volunteer center, and that one's the one that will tie you with resources in the community. If you have time, because we value volunteer time. If it's not possible to write that check, you know, check off that payroll deduction, then volunteering time is absolutely important in our community as well.
So if I'm a Kiwanis Club or a Lions Club or whatever, and I may be looking for a lunch speaker, are you and your staff available for that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We'll come out and tell them what's happening in Volusia County.
Well, Ray, I want to thank you again for being with us again this year. United Way, very, very important agency in Volusia County, and appreciate you sharing the information with us today.
Thank you for the opportunity, Dave.
Our guest today, Ray Salazer, who's the Executive Director of the Volusia Flagler United Way. And with that, we'll go back to you, Amber.
Thanks, Dave, and thank you for watching Volusia Magazine. If you have any questions about the show, you can feel free to give us a call at any of the numbers you see listed here, or you can log on to volusia.org and click on the News tab at the top of the screen to find us. Incidentally, you can find the County Council's meeting calendar there too. In fact, you can use volusia.org to find out about meeting dates, workshops, topics of interest, activities, and how you can become involved. And we hope you won't forget to listen to Volusia Today. That's Volusia County Government's weekly public radio broadcast. Volusia Today airs every Tuesday and Sunday mornings on the local radio stations you see on your screen. For Volusia Magazine, I'm Amber Patterson. Have a wonderful evening.